Fat People Hunting by Timothy Kimmel Jr., Chapter 5. Treble Sock said his whole family of trolls, loved music. They loved music so much they would all go off by themselves, all the adults, and play their various instruments, the stomp fiddle, the kazoo, shower kazoo, and their guitar variations like the grasping reach, and of course the banjo, fiddle. Anyway, they would all play music by themselves in various locations, and sometimes they would get really loud when they do it. And when they did, unbeknownst to them, or maybe they were aware of it, if somebody had been listening from a distance, it would have sounded like a whole band playing. And what ended up happening was a lot of their troll kids would just wander around to various adult trolls, listening to them play music, and then join in with them. Eventually, they had like individual little bands, just all jamming and having a good time. It was like they were separate and yet together in the way that they played. None of them were tone deaf because they're not like specifically normal human types, they're trolls. So they have that magical imbuement and ability to enjoy music without any psychological detriments like being tone deaf, which isn't a problem with your hearing, it's a psychological problem, they say. Otherwise, people who are hard of hearing still might not be tone deaf. They just can't hear very well, which is why they use hearing aids or just go somewhere really quiet to listen more closely. I run across a similar problem with my music since I play so quietly, per se. A lot of people in the city aren't aware of the noise that they have because they're so used to it, so they can't really hear something that's meant to be listened to in a quiet place because of all the noise. That's why everybody else's music is so loud. Almost obnoxiously loud, if you ask me, but they made earphones for that reason. Anyway, the point being is I could turn it up. Sometimes I do. And I thought about it, but off on a tangent, I really just prefer the way that I record music. And Trouble's Hogshead family would too, because they're trolls, and that's the type of music that they like. Subtle, and yet intense. I live a lot like a troll, underneath an old fallen tree, so that other trees don't fall on my head, with a family of rhododendrons, which trolls would have loved to eat, because they taste like chicken. But they're also really smart people. If they were people, they would bling out their hands with fingernail polish and a crystal clear fingernail polish, the diamond hard kind. Because although they love digging in the dirt, they like to keep themselves extremely clean. Rhododendrons are kind of like huge mice. People say they're like rats, but they're not, They're way too cute to be rats. Almost like rabbits. They know how to stay warm in the wintertime. Nocturnal animals, really. Just like trolls. But they both love music. That's one thing they have in common. People and trolls, mostly people, smell and taste like chicken when they're cooked. So do rhododendrons. That's another thing they have in common. Trolls don't usually eat other trolls, but they have been known to eat people from a time or two. In fact, it's an ancient troll tradition to hunt fat people, fat humans, and eat them. We're all foodies. We all love the goodies that humans make. Twinkies, candy bars, dark chocolate, varying percentages, but they're all whole. None of them feel lesser because they're just a percentage of something else. They're all complete people like that. There are no half trolls. Even if some of them are half human, they're all troll, baby, on the inside. That's just the way that it is. And they love music too. That's why Trouble Hogg said, Trouble, needed to find his family and get them back. He had a sense that they were located somewhere in New Mexico, or maybe even Mexico itself. Could be Texas. Who knows? They were taken by the evil corporation Nitro, because Nitro started hunting magical creatures once the world went to basically martial law. And I'm not talking matters, although it does matter.